Hi, everyone. Jessica Martin here with Martin Management. I am here to bring another wonderful person from the dental industry to your attention. I love to share valuable resources for you to be more profitable in your business, introduce you to great people that are making change in the industry. And Ms. Lynda Sherman is definitely doing both. So welcome, Lynda. Thank you for joining me.
Well, it's an absolute treat, Jessica. Thank you so much for having me on. I can't wait to chit chat and talk about some good stuff.
Yeah. So Lynda, for those of you that don't know Lynda, she is just a super fun person. I met her 2 years ago at the Do Retreat in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're both from the Midwest, so we flew to Charlotte to meet each other. And she is just a hoot. That's a whole other recording we could talk all day, I'm sure about. But Lynda is not only a registered dental hygienist, she has three different companies. We're gonna focus in on one today, and I'm gonna just highlight the others really quick. She runs a nonprofit company that helps kids get access to oral health care. She has a eco-friendly dental subscription box called Get Mouthy that it's adorable, and I'm going to totally butcher it, Lynda, but it's basically like, things you can use to care for your teeth that are eco-friendly, and you can use them over and over as opposed to like disposable toothpaste and floss and toothbrushes and all the things that aren't as eco-friendly. So super cute. And then what we're going to focus on today is her consulting business, which has a focus on sustainability for the environment, as well as helping keep profits, in a dental office, helping to increase profitability by being eco-friendly. So sorry to totally chop all that up for you, Lynda, but tell us, how did you get into dentistry? That's like the first fun question. How did you become a hygienist?
Well, in dentistry, I want to just make a first quick correction. I'm an expanded functions dental auxiliary. We do it short for EFTA, and I'm in Ohio. And we are very progressive. I always say we're in Ohio because Ohio is one of the very few states that allow us to be extremely progressive in that permissible duty. So I'm truly restoring teeth and using hand pieces, which is really great. And so just like to clarify that. But anyhow, I'm here in Ohio. My intention, I was enrolled at Ohio University in their broadcast journalism program because I always want to be an on-air personality. That was me. I wanted to be the co-anchor for Entertainment Tonight. And that was my goal. But as you're aware, I received this doorbell ring, right? Here I am out of high school. It's the summer break, and UPS came to my door because the gentleman next door, who's a dentist, wasn't home. And I signed for this package for his office. And that was my first introduction to the gentleman next door, who was a dentist. And he just asked if I wanted to work in his office. So as I was going to school, I was working in his office and transitioned into assisting his practice, and very quickly just found a passion, just something I really enjoyed. Truly, I was just making money. I think I was young. I was making money and saw an income and a need, and I got into it. It was kind of a little questionable at first, but I did find a niche. And Jessica, I do firmly believe that we are put here on this earth for a reason. And there's a reason that UPS rang my doorbell that day and that guy was not home. I mean, if you believe in a higher power, I do. It was intentional, and it is what my mission is set out for, is to do that. And I think that things always come around, right? That broadcast journalism degree that I was seeking and the intention to use it is coming back around. It took a while, but it's getting there. But I love dentistry. Again, I just found that there was a need, and I was appalled to see how many children spend time in a dental chair when we all know tooth decay is preventable. So I stuck with it, and here I am.
Awesome. I love that story. And I just think it's like you like legitimately got the calling, like this
Mhm.
dentistry needs you. So tell us more about when you work with clients on the consulting front and you're advising them on sustainability. What are some common things, just to give us some teasers, like that you see most offices do that you're cringe and you're like, nah, you're not only wasting money, but you're hurting the environment. Like, what are those big things? Like, we don't want you to give away all your secrets, but what are the common things you see?
My number one pet peeve is chair covers. Take the freaking chair cover off. I mean, I made this comment in one of our groups recently, and someone's like, "Well, what do? You freaking wipe it down. What else do you do? Like, have you ever thought about the composite gun that you're using? I've done this for 30 years. We spray and we wipe it down. I mean, think of everything else that we spray and we wipe it down. And that chair cover, for the love of God, your patient probably just took a flight, and then when they landed, they went to their OBGYN appointment, and then they went and had lunch at a restaurant with their friends, And then afterwards, they went to a movie theater before they got to your dental appointment. And there was nothing in that world that was ever covered. Like, I don't know about you, Jessica. You've met me. I'm well endowed. I got some big boobs. So when I'm going to my mammogram, I got some boob sweat. It is what it is. They didn't plastic it up. They didn't. I'm a perimenopausal woman. Same thing. I've gone for an OBGYN exam. It ain't pretty, ladies. If you've been there, nothing was plastic, but you feel like you got a freaking plastic. That chair. No, honey, take it off. Take it off. Don't use it. And don't plastic your x-ray cover, your x-ray tube either. Just simply remove those plastic barriers. And I trust you. They are not mandated, not in one state. So that's my biggest tip. You can see I'm passionate about it. I hate chair covers.
I do too. I do too. And I also think from that patient experience perspective, which is where I always come from, you know, to walk in and have the treatment room look like you're going to space, right? That's not a comforting feeling. It doesn't need to. It's not increasing the standards of cleanliness by having the chair cover there. In fact, you know, there's a way to probably make it worse if you took it off wrong or you touched that and then you touched the chair on accident. Like, we pay, you know, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars for these dental chairs so that they will last, so that we can cavity wipe them and not have an issue. So yes, completely agree. I love that from the patient perspective as well, to not have to like sit on some plastic uncomfortable.
And I'm telling you, and I haven't used a chair cover in years, and I've not had one patient, not one. I've had 100% of every patient, not one person has ever asked, where's that chair cover at? May I have my head a piece of plastic and have it sweat for the next 50 minutes? Like, not one time has anybody ever asked me.
Well, truth be told, when COVID hit, you know, everyone got a little like extra with regard to the sanitation of everything and, you know, making things look and feel safe. And even our office got a little crazy with the barriers. And I can remember helping our clinical team turn over a room, and like the barriers not only took a lot more time, obviously, to take on and off, but then it like I said, it made it, you know, it made it more complicated, because I was like, okay, this glove that I have on, I just touched something else that was dirty. Now I have to peel this off and try not to touch the clean thing that's underneath it. And, you know, over time we phased those out again as we calmed down about COVID and things like that. But I think there's probably plenty of offices out there still doing that, which is not only are they spending money on the actual physical cover itself, but then they're taking the time to take them on and off. And then of course the environmental factors as well.
You got it. You got it. And I think sometimes we forget when we're healthcare providers that the plastic that we are harvesting, manufacturing, and throwing away, that's greenhouse gases. Now, I'm not here to talk about climate change. I'm not one of those, right? I don't get into that, you know, that loophole, but I do believe that we need to be aware of our emissions, right? The greenhouse gases and where they come from, because that's where your smog alerts come from. If you are a runner, you don't want to run when there's a smog alert, right? And you do see that on the Weather Channel app. That's coming from your emissions, and that's from just simply harvesting the plastics. We don't want to even just make the plastic because it's a fossil fuel. People don't realize it's a fossil fuel, and you have to harvest it, then you have to manufacture it, and then you're throwing it away. So as healthcare providers, it's more concerning to our health when we're making and throwing stuff away. That's why we're becoming asthmatic. That's why our air quality is poor. So someone's saying, oh, we're in healthcare and we need to cover everything. No, you're really making our environment worse. You're making our health worse, because our air quality outside really isn't breathable. And when our air quality is poor, it gets into, again, our soils and our foods and other products like that. So it's a big realm of things. I mean, I can really go, right? So think about our health and plastics.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you about a couple of things that, and we've not talked about this, so this is totally candid, but I want to ask you about a couple of things that I recommend for my clients from the perspective of the patient experience, and see what you think about it from a sustainability component. So instead of using paper towels or, you know, disposable elfold towels in the bathrooms for patients, I like to advise offices to use like hand towels that we can wash and reuse. I think it's probably more environmentally friendly, although I'm not researched on that. It seems like it's not disposable, but also, you know, you can roll the towel up, you can set them up nice so they look cute, and it gives you that upscale sort of elevated feel, while I think at the same time being eco-friendly. Am I right about that?
You're right. And you know what? I take it up one more notch, and I use those pretty little towels, which I have them logoed for the office, and I use them as your patient bib, right? Now, I will say during a surgical procedure where it might get a little extra bloody, we might use something a little bit different. But not only are those towels, which I think are lovely for your patient bathroom, we have laundry here, so we launder everything. But then also you can use the same things for your patient bib, and I love to have them logoed because I think that adds a touch to it, and launder them all. Absolutely, great suggestion. There to use. Yep.
Okay.
I mean, you can take away your plastic cups and use ramekins too. I mean, again, there's so many things that we can, and I would say, truly, Jessica, we're throwing away our profits, right? The dental office, you are literally throwing away your profits. You're making money, and don't you want to save money and keep the money in your practice? But instead, you're buying these things that are disposable, and you think it's out of convenience. It's not. It's not saving you time. It's not saving you money. It's costing you time, and it's costing you money. I mean, some people think, oh, it's just, they laugh it off, right? It's a tree hugger concept. Oh, it's so silly. Be silly if you want to, but you can save hundreds of thousands. We're not just talking hundreds of dollars or a few $1,000s. These are hundreds of thousands of dollars just every year by adapting just some core principles.
I love that. And I think too, a lot of the things, even, you're talking about disposable cups, using something that you can wash. Again, I think it can give you that up level feel too, that elevated feel, that you're not using some junky plastic, or you're not using some, I always think the bib colors are awful. Like, I'm all about aesthetics. So when our team would order the bibs, I would say, is there a better color we can find? Like, all of these are just like, it's blue and green, and even the beige that kind of goes with our motif more. So it doesn't look cute. It doesn't look pretty. So to give more of that upscaled feel that I typically would recommend for that patient experience, I think it really can go hand in hand and solve a lot of the issues that we're talking about.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, cool. All right. So when you work with clients, I know I had this question when I first heard about your consulting business. I was envisioning you like walking through the office and finding all the ways that they're, making those mistakes, and, giving them advice on how to improve. And you were saying, no, I don't have to be on site, although you could, but most of what you do is remote. Can you tell us about that?
I choose for it to be remote because, again, this is about emissions. So if I get in my car and I get into a plane and I come to your office, there's emissions that are involved, and that's not something that I encourage. I mean, we all love to go into a nice area and, get away from our families, sometimes have a nice hotel stay and have, on somebody else's tab. But again, I'm here for the environment, and I totally promote being virtual. We can do an audit of your office. I mean, it's a simple checklist, something that you can go through. We can even do a lot of things, obviously, via Zoom. It's wonderful. But from a virtual standpoint, again, it's just something that is personal to me. I stand by the fact of reducing our emissions and staying out of our cars and staying out of our airplanes. And I'm sure that your office is way too far for me to get on my bicycle, because if you're more than a half a mile away, I'm not coming that way.
You could get really fit making that part of your business plan, but not very.
That's true.
Awesome. So, Lynda, tell us anything else about the consulting that you do that we haven't covered that you'd want people to know about.
I would just love for people to know that, again, there is so much profitability in sustainability. So I'd love to show you how to stop rotting out your bottom line. Ultimately, in the day, for me, it's the earth. It's to protect the earth. I say that we can joke around and say it's one straw, but a billion people said just that. We think about our plastic containers and we'll recycle them. Not a lot of them really are recyclable. So the bottom line is, let's help out our earth, be very conscious, because we are going to leave a legacy behind. It's our families, our grandchildren. They're going to swim in the ocean. Small little facts, there's going to be more plastic in the ocean than fish by 2050. And my daughter, who's 10, she'll be 37 when that fact is fruitful. And I mean, that's beyond, my age now. So please just be conscientious and think about it. I mean, there's great marketing. I mean, there are individuals like myself who I would find offices. So not only is it for your more upscale offices, but it's for marketing too. There's so many facets of going green, and doing so, again, helps the health of your patients, helps the health of the earth, and it helps out your bottom line. And we need to be aware of the chemicals that we're putting into our bodies too. But I think that's a completely different conversation. But that's where my box comes in. Not just at being bio or eco-friendly, it's also getting the chemicals out of our products too. Because we live every day, and we should be healthy when we're doing it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, I hope that this inspires some of our listeners to make some different choices. If they're interested in getting a hold of you to work with you directly and get an idea of what they can do in their office to be more profitable, as well as to be more eco-friendly, how would you suggest they reach you, Lynda?
Probably one of the best ways to reach me is just to look me up on my website, because everything else is there to connect with me. And I'm Lynda with a Y. So it's lyndasherman.com. So Lynda, Lynda, Sherman, Sherman. So lyndasherman.com. And from there, you can access my email, my phone number, as well as my nonprofit, my dental subscription box, and my consulting business. So look me up.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lynda, for your time today. And until next time, see you later, everyone.